You are live with the App Show. Mike Agarbo here with John Beeler. We got an interesting program today. We're continuing our subscription series. This week we'll be covering Kobo. If you are into reading books and would like kind of more of an all-you-can-eat buffet option, this might be for you. $10 a month.
Who wouldn't want an all-you-can-eat buffet?
Yeah, we'll be talking with Ted Kritsonis. He's had a chance to try it out. Is it worth it? Are there enough good books in that $10 a month package? Well, stay tuned. You'll find out. We'll also be continuing my 5G journey. We had an interesting beer the other night, John and I, and just doing speed tests on a few different phones, some using the standard 4G technology that all cell phones use right now, and one using the new 5G technology. You'll be surprised at the results. And we're going to be talking trademarks. If you are a business owner, if you are thinking of starting a business, or you've got some products that you want to get into the market, trademarking them is super important, but also complicated and expensive. We'll be talking with Julie MacDonell. She is one of the founders of Heirlume. It's a Canadian woman-founded company that was using some of Google's startup program to launch. And this is kind of cool. It's an app that lets you trademark your business name or a product at a fraction of the price and makes it way less complicated. So you got to stay tuned for that as well. Super interesting segment. Let's talk some of the news now, John. I found this interesting. A lot of us use GPS to get around, like Apple Maps, Google Maps. A lot of folks use Waze. It's kind of an offshoot of Google Maps, but way more robust. You can actually see where there are traffic jams or radar traps and things like that. Well, now you can actually plan your trip out on your desktop computer and send that to your phone.
I've actually just started using Waze recently, and I actually do prefer it over Google Maps.
Why?
For some things. I just like it's much clearer what your path is, and along the way, if anything is in your way, the other Wazers have the ability to flag them. So whether there's a cop there, whether there's an accident or something else like that. Whereas on Google Maps, you just know there's a red area.
Yeah.
Right.
Bad.
Backup. Right. Yeah. You get a little bit more detail, and you can actually even contribute to that. You can actually say, no, the cop's gone or whatever, just with one tap on your screen if you have like CarPlay and Android Auto, that type of thing. So I find it quite nice. There's one thing I wish that Waze had that Google Maps does. Google Maps will color code your ETA, and it'll be green or red based on like it's just a very simple, like, hey, you're green, you're good all the way, there's nothing in your way. On Waze, using the same interface, the same exact little box that shows you your ETA, it's just black. It doesn't give you any.
So green means good, red means you might be late?
Yeah. Well, and there's different colors of red and orange, right? So, yeah.
Good for the colorblind people like me.
That's right.
They all look the same. Anyway, if you are a Waze user on your mobile device, now you can plan your trip out ahead of time on your desktop. Kind of cool. This is a feature coming up here. It's from Google for Android phones, available on Pixel phones. They're going to be rolling this out in other countries. No word on when it's coming to Canada yet, but I'm looking forward to this. It's the Google Phone app. It'll be available at first, I think, to Samsung and LG phones, and of course, Pixel users will have it. That when a business calls, it can tell you why they're calling, and you can also verify them. And this is what I hope the future is.
This is huge. Because, like, how many calls a day do we get from random CRA scams? And
how many cruises have I won?
Exactly.
I hope none of them are true, because I just hang up. So now a business can go in through the Google interface and verify themselves. And when they call a customer now, the customer, if they're using the phone app, will get a verification. They'll have a little badge and even the reason why you're calling. If you're a bank calling, for example, it could be a call about a fraudulent charge on your credit card, or it could be a marketing call, and they would have to put that in.
That's great.
I think it's fantastic.
It's like pre-screening for your pre-screening.
Anyway, this is something new from Google. It's the phone app. No word on exactly when it's coming to Canada. I would guesstimate probably in the next couple of months, but something I am definitely looking forward to. Okay, we have an awesome program coming up. We'll be talking about 5G technology versus 4G. Should you upgrade to a 5G phone? Listen to the segment before you do. We'll also be talking about all-you-can-read book subscriptions. Are they worth it? We'll have Ted Kritsonis on the line. And coming up next, have you been wanting to trademark your business or our product? We've got an app for that. Stay tuned. You are back with the App Show. Mike Agerbo here with John Beeler. Came across an interesting app. This is good for people and businesses especially that want to trademark something. If you've ever tried to do that in the past, it's not always easy. You got to obviously have lawyers involved, and you got to find the lawyers and the appropriate paperwork. I've gone through it before, and it's not something I love doing. It's expensive and complicated. Well, there's an app for that now. We've got a great guest on the line. Her name is Julie MacDonell. She is the CEO of Heirloom, an app that helps make getting a trademark easier. Thanks for joining us, Julie.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Let's talk about trademarks in general. Can you just kind of give our audience kind of Reader's Digest of why it's important to have a trademark?
Yeah, I think you'd be surprised at how many small and medium-sized business owners don't even understand the importance of trademarks. But one of the most striking things that I say to them is that you don't even legally own your domain until you register the corresponding trademark. That doesn't mean you register the domain as a trademark. It means if you're Nike.com, you register Nike, the name, as a trademark. And unless you do that, your domain can actually be transferred to a trademark owner. So it's really critical. And typically what we would want to see is whenever you come up with a business idea, you're about to open your doors, or even just kind of start thinking about, registering domains and things like that, before you do any of it, you'd want to register a trademark.
Is that just the name? Is it the logo of your idea or company as well? What does that encompass?
Most commonly in a small and sort of medium-sized business context, it's a name and a logo, sometimes a tagline. So to give a Nike example, the Nike name, the Nike swoosh logo, and then just do it as a tagline. But there are businesses, especially in certain sectors, beer and food and things like that, that will also have kind of sub-brands, which we would consider product names, things like that.
So, for example, we broadcast a show out of Vancouver here, lots of craft breweries. So you're saying basically they should trademark, obviously, the name of their company, but should they be trademarking all the different brands that they're coming up with as well?
Yeah, it's a tricky thing because legally, yes, they should. So as a lawyer, I'm going to say register all of those product names. However, what I like to do with clients is just make sure they're maximizing budget. Before Heirloom existed, you really had to hire a lawyer to get it right in terms of trademarks. And that becomes extremely expensive if you think of, your primary brand identity, name, logo, tagline, and then heading into all these product names. I call it kind of the Ben and Jerry's of branding. And typically with a small to medium-sized business, I discourage them from product lines sort of in that direction, that Ben and Jerry's direction, because you don't want to get into that big legal cost of doing it. And so we'll say, develop a really strong company brand and then call a pale ale nothing more than a pale ale, that kind of thing. However, what Heirloom's meant to do is to provide easy access to brand protection beyond just your primary brand. And we've seen that with our early users. They'll do their name and their logo, which is typical, and then they'll come back and they'll throw in a product name or, another kind of company name that they've been thinking about because we've made it so accessible and affordable.
So let's talk about that, Julie. What would people have to do in the past to trademark something? Like, what were the steps? What was the ballpark range of pricing it would take to get the lawyers involved? And then we'll talk about your app, Heirloom, and how you've simplified that. So in the old days, or even now, how much does it cost? Like, what steps do you have to go through?
there are two ways of doing it. There's the proper way, I'm going to call it, like the solid way of doing it is to hire a lawyer and registered trademark agent. So it's really difficult to become a registered trademark agent with the Intellectual Property Office. So you want to make sure whoever you hire has that status. To hire a lawyer with that status, you're looking in the range of $2,000 to $4,000. And the process will take anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks, really, to even get your application filed. Then there's the other kind of side of the spectrum, which is budget services. Budget services are typically non-lawyer services, so they're not vetted by the government. Many of them I consider to be somewhat predatory. So they don't really check availability properly. They can give you a false positive sometimes just because their tools are insufficient in terms of whether you can own the trademark. So you'll file something that's destined to fail. Some of them are okay, but generally on the budget end, it's sort of a bit of a hit or miss whether you're getting the quality that you can really bank all of your marketing dollars on, because at the end of the day, you're putting everything, all of your marketing, everything relies on your brand ownership. So those are kind of the two ends of the spectrum. On the budget side, it's a little bit faster turnaround because there isn't that quality control, and you're looking in a range of about $1,000. What we do with Heirloom is we completely disrupt both industries. We provide lawyer quality output through a disruptive business model. So our actual business model is disrupted. Our technology is quick and easy, so our practitioners can do instant, deep dive, comprehensive trademark searches, where normally a lawyer is going to outsource that to a company that's going to take 2 weeks to deliver it. So multiple kind of layers of innovation, and we offer, as low as $5.99 currently for a single filing, and then discounts on additional filings. So you'll pay $5.99, let's say, for your name, and then $200 for a discounted add-on logo application. Soon we'll be launching technology really in the next month or so where you can do it fully on your own at a price point of around $99.
Woof. Wow. You're not going to be very popular with the trademark lawyers.
No, we're hoping to be popular with the people that we love, which are who are the small to medium-sized business owners who we really, in terms of our company culture, just absolutely adore them. We believe that those are the heroes of our economy. I think COVID has shown us that, and those are the people that we care about pleasing.
Can I ask you a question? So if I use your app and I get my trademark, I pay the $600. Where is that good? Is that just Canada? Is that US? Is it worldwide? How does that work?
Oh yeah, that's the most common question we get, I would say. Trademarks are jurisdictional by country. So you have to apply to each country office. So when I talk about $5.99, I'm talking about, submitting for Canada. If you want to submit in the US, it's a separate process, a separate fee. We're launching a US-facing version of our technology in 3 days. So we'll be offering US market services soon, but we have to roll out country by country.
You were actually, how we came across you. Google has this really cool program for women-founded companies. They've got a startup accelerator. You were involved with this. How did this help you?
Well, it helps us tremendously for a couple of reasons. I think any woman founder or women-led company is going to tell you first off the bat, which is a bit antithetical to what I'm about to say, but they'll tell you, look, money is more important than mentorship to us, because access to money is so difficult for women-led tech companies in particular. What's fantastic about the Google for Startups program is that it's mentorship that leads to money, or it's mentorship in areas that mentorship is very difficult to get for women founders. It's also just that support from an entity as massive as Google. so that we can walk into an investor meeting and say, look, Google is supporting us. So it's extremely special. We are, I always joke that we are a unicorn in terms of being a tech company. Typically, when you describe a unicorn in tech, that means a company that's just got explosive revenue growth. I'm not saying we won't have that. I hope we have that, but we're a unicorn in the sense that our CTO is a woman. So in the realm of tech generally, female CTOs and companies that are female-led with a female CTO are unicorns. They're so rare. So to be able to have our CTO, who generally feels utterly lonely in the world of tech, because she's such a, she's so rare in that environment, to have Google kind of step in and say, look, we're going to connect you with the other women who have that experience. And you're going to be able to sit one-on-one, and it's not going to be talking about, the journey of entrepreneurship as a woman, which you can get anywhere. But it's let's dig into the tech together and solve these extremely complex problems together. So it's huge.
We're talking with Julie MacDonell. She's the CEO of Heirloom, an app that makes getting a trademark for your business or product that much easier. Julie, where can people find out more information about Heirloom?
Yeah, well, they can go to our website. Heirloom doesn't have the traditional dictionary spelling. It's Heirlume, co.com. So currently, that's, again, the Canadian-facing website, and we'll be launching U.S.-facing in just a few days. Well,
for one, I'm going to be checking it out because I don't think I've trademarked any of my companies, and now I'm scared. But delighted that is not going to. I'm delighted it's not going to cost me as much money as I thought. Julie, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck with this.
I so appreciate it. Thanks so much.
When we come back from the break, more apps to talk about here on the App Show. Stay tuned. You are back with the program. Mike Agerbo here with John Beeler. We're going to get into subscriptions. And this is something that we got going up on our website. We're going to be posting a lot of great articles and blogs about the different types of subscriptions that are available now. And that's what the world is.
Pretty much everything's going towards a subscription model. I mean,
Netflix, Spotify, Apple Music.
It makes sense because you don't have this big outlay of cash to buy all your favorite records and favorite movies, all that kind of stuff. But sometimes some of these things can be a little tricky to navigate.
Yeah, and that's the reason why we wanted to do this series. Again, we're going to have articles about this up on our website. So everything from like Netflix subscriptions and video streaming to like YouTube subscriptions, Spotify, Kobo, what have you.
What does the pro version get you over the free version?
Yeah, they have family versions. They got the free versions. They got the single user version. Some have 2-person user versions now as well.
Ultra and Plus.
Yeah. So we're going to try to demystify that. And today, it's all about books, and specifically with Kobo. And to help us with this, and he's a subscription master, his name is Ted Kritsonis. You've heard him here before. He's our I guess, most popular tech journalist out of Toronto. And some would call him a friend. Thanks for joining us, Ted.
Pleasure to be with you guys.
So let's talk about Kobo. And so,
Sure.
Yeah, I think some listeners are probably familiar with the brand. This started out in Canada, I believe. It's
in Toronto, actually.
Toronto. It's the ebook reader, the Kobo ebook reader. And, it's had an up and down history. I think e-readers in general didn't light the world on fire.
Well, and there's a big elephant in the room that sort of stomped all over them.
Is that like the Amazon elephant?
Yes.
Yeah. As far as competition, I would have to say it's Amazon with their Kindle readers and Kobo with their readers. And Ted, they have a subscription service now that might be appealing to folks that like to read. So you don't necessarily have to have one of their e-readers with the e-ink display, although those are fantastic if you are an avid reader. But the Kobo app will work on your laptop, your tablets, your iPhone as well.
And Android phone, yeah. So the app works on a number of different devices, as you mentioned. And it does work on pretty much every Kobo e-reader as well. There's only two. There's the Kobo Wi-Fi and the Kobo Mini. Those are the only two. Those are old models, by the way. But the Kobo Plus service will not work on there. Now, Kobo Plus costs $10 a month, and it is it's a buffet. So basically, it's all you can read, over a month period. Although there are some limitations. Two of them, in fact, that I wanted to point out. One is that you do not get access to the entire Kobo store catalog or library. So we have about 4 million ebooks that are on there, right? You're not going to get access to all that because basically what it comes down to is that not every publisher is on board with a service like Kobo Plus. So if they pull their books back, then they're not going to be part of the service. So instead, what you have is access to what Kobo says are hundreds of thousands of titles. Now, I don't know the exact number. I would venture to say it's probably closer to 100,000 as opposed to 900,000, but I don't know the full number. And in any case, it is a mixture of titles. So you're going to get some that are really well known or recognizable, and then you're going to get some that are like self-published or just not very well known and really low cost, like 99 cents, $1.99, $2.99, things like that.
If you were to buy them outright.
If you were to buy them outright, yeah. So the other second limitation that I want to get to quickly is that you're also limited to 15 titles per month. So if you download 15 titles, that you have to either go through those 15 or you have to wait until the month expires and you start a new month again. So they've added that limitation in there.
So that's not really unlimited then. You have
yeah, it's at one time. So
I guess a dictionary wasn't one of the books that you
yeah, so it's at one time. So you could kind of drop titles and then add them. But the idea was like you're not downloading like 50 in one shot, right? And then having them on your device.
Okay.
So,
the way you described it, I thought that meant you could only download 15 books over the course of a month, as opposed to having one book on Monday and then on Friday you download another one. You just rinse and repeat until you have 50 or whatever. Some people are voracious readers and they can read a whole book in a day. Right. So that's,
I think 15 books is a lot.
It is a lot, but I do know people that will read a whole book in a day.
Yeah.
And so in theory, that would be 30 books they would need, but they just can't have them all downloaded at the same time.
Yeah. So that was my understanding when I went over the service, was basically that it's 15 at one time. Now I admit I could be a little bit off on this, but I think that's what it is. It's 15 at one time and that's all. And then when the new month starts, you basically get another, it's like a fresh batch, so to speak. But at the same time, 15 books is a lot. I mean, for the average person, I agree with Mike, it's a lot for a person to get through in 1 month. And there's a caveat here because it also matters how much the books cost if you were to buy them. So I mentioned earlier that they were lower cost books, right? We got 99 cents, $2, $3. Now, if you subscribe to this and you only can get through 2 or 3, and if you were to buy the books, it's actually less than the $10 that you spent for the service, all of a sudden now it's not really good value. So it's almost like you have to subscribe to this in a way where that you're going to be at least downloading some books that are expensive, like could be $20, $30, and they are there. Some of them are there. Then it makes sense. So I think that's why, when I wrote the article about it, I was saying that you kind of have to do the math a little bit and see if it makes sense for you to go with this service. Because right now, they just started. They just launched it in July. So it's still early. But, you have to kind of, I guess, justify the $10 a month if you're going to do this.
I guess it's kind of like the whole idea of Netflix versus Amazon Prime for video. The content has to be there. Like if there's a favorite author you might like, for example, would they be on Kobo? Would they be on Kindle? Or is there something unique that Kobo offers that you can't find anywhere else?
So it's a good question. And I think to your point about the limit of 15 books, Kobo would say, I don't speak for Kobo obviously, but I'm thinking that their rationale would be, hey, wait a second. If you can't find the book on Kobo Plus, then why not set up an Overdrive account, get a library card from your local public library and see if they have it, and then just download it from them.
What's an Overdrive account?
So Overdrive is a service that links you. It links your Kobo with your local public library, so that you can literally take out ebooks like you would physical books. So if they have the ebook available, you basically borrow it like you normally would with a physical book. It's a really cool service. They've had it for years, so it's not new.
But why would you need to go through Kobo for that?
Oh, it's just the convenience. I mean, if you can just be at home and and then browse through what the library has, pick out the book that's available, and that's it. The only downside is that the library has to have the book available. So if someone else has taken it out, you can't get it. They literally treat the ebook as if it's a physical book. So if they only have like 2 or 1, that's it. So if somebody has it.
What a great analog idea, Ted. I guess it all comes down to, so we're talking about this Kobo subscriptions, $10 a month, and you get choice of, could be 100 to 200,000 books in their library. You can take out 15 a month, but it comes down to like, what are the books? Like, how good are they? Are they popular books? You're talking about books that are $1, $1.50. I would guess that they're not the popular books.
No, and that's not.
No.
Yeah, that's why I prefaced what I said earlier with the fact that some of the big publishers are not on board with this. Now, to be fair, they're not on board with Amazon's Kindle Unlimited service, which is the same kind of idea either. Those guys want customers to pay full freight for their ebooks, and that's that. But the good thing, at least, is that before you sign up, now you do get the trial period, but before you even sign up, you can see. So even no matter where you're browsing or where you are in the Kobo store, it'll show you which books are available on Kobo Plus. In fact, you can even just browse Kobo Plus if you want on its own before even signing up for it, so you can see what is available there, including the pricing. So that way you can start to do the math and see if the money works out for you.
So you got to be a voracious reader, and you have to like the books that are available.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
At least you can preview and before you even sign up.
Yes.
There's enough meat on the bone.
Well, Ted, that was very helpful. I didn't really even know that they had this. Well, what they say is unlimited / 15 books a month service. But for readers, $10 a month, that's pretty good. Ted, I want to thank you for joining us. And if you want to read about Kobo Plus, you can check out our website, GetConnectedMedia.com. We've got Ted's blog up there about it to give you a little more info. When we come back from the break, more apps to talk about here on The App Show. Stay tuned. You're back with The App Show. Don't forget to hit the contest page on our website, GetConnectedMedia.com, giving away a Samsung Galaxy A51 smartphone. Again, just go to our website, GetConnectedMedia.com, to enter it to win. I want to talk more, John, about 5G. We had an interesting beer the other night. Being the nerds we are, we had a few phones with us because we're always trying these things out, to feature on Global and our TV show. And the big thing right now, the carriers are going to start pushing 5G technology or 5G networks. So to take advantage of this, you've got to have a phone that is capable of that.
Do you?
Well, so I had I've got all the new Samsung phones, and I've got a 5G SIM in them, and so we're sitting having a beer, and I've been testing this around, and you might have listened to last week's show where I said I'm just not feeling the 5G love yet. I've got a phone that's capable of doing it, and I'm just not seeing a huge difference. And so we decided to do a speed test on some of the phones we had. One of them was yours, and it was on TELUS.
Yes.
And the Samsung phone I have is on TELUS as well, but it's 5G. And we did the speed test, and I got really sad.
Why was that, Mike?
Because you've got an iPhone 11.
Yeah.
And you've got 4G service, which is kind of the normal service that everyone has right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you were blowing my Samsung 5G phone away as far as the speed test is concerned.
Sometimes it was almost double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it shouldn't be. Now, we should sort of put an asterisk beside this because we did try a number of different speed test services. We tried, if you just Google speed test, Google has kind of their own in the browser. We also used speedtest.net on the website, and we also downloaded their app, which tends to be a little bit more accurate.
It didn't matter, John. You doubled my 5G phone speed every single time.
Yeah.
And so, and I know these are nerdy numbers and not everyone's going to understand them, but I was averaging about 200 to 250 megabyte downloads per second downloads.
Yeah.
And you at one point even got up to 500 on the older 4G technology.
I think 540 was the best I did.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing, and we talk about this all the time, my upload speed was double what I get on my Shaw home internet.
That's pretty good.
I was getting between 40 and 60 megabits upload.
My upload speeds on the 5G phone were comparable to you. Yes.
They were good. Yeah.
But that's not the big,
yeah,
the big thing.
So the things that we were concerned about or wanted to sort of make note of is the fact that, we were literally sitting in a craft brewery. I don't even know where the tower is.
Yes.
In relation to us, but we were both on TELUS.
Yeah.
Like you said, I was on my iPhone 11 Pro with a TELUS SIM with 4G service, and you had your Samsung Flip 5G with a TELUS 5G SIM. So one of the questions that, to be truly apples to apples, pun intended, would be to throw that 5G SIM into your iPhone to see if we had the same result.
We're going to be doing more testing. So, this is not a scientific test by any stretch, but
if you want to see a grown man cry, run a speed test in front of him.
But we also speed tested my iPhone.
Yeah.
That has the Shaw Mobile service. They don't have 5G yet. They're still 4G, but it is a pale reflection compared to the TELUS speed. There is no doubt that TELUS blows it out of the water right now.
Yeah.
I was getting on average, about 120 megabytes per second download speeds.
Oh, okay. I thought it was actually lower.
Okay, a lot of times it was hovering around 100. And so keep in mind, we don't know where the towers are for these different guys. That has a big effect.
And we were indoors in, a brewery that has all this crazy equipment that could have also affected it, but clearly it amplified my service.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. But we're going to be testing this more, okay? Because this is just one area. And I have been taking a 5G phone around to different areas.
Yeah.
It's just I can't notice a huge difference in the speed. And clearly, I can see why now.
Well, no, and honestly, these speed tests are really just benchmarks for bragging rights. It doesn't directly correlate to how fast you're going to be browsing our website, Google, or Facebook.
So yeah, keep that in mind. So the Shaw mobile phone that I had, it's an iPhone with a Shaw mobile SIM in it. Yeah, I mean, your phone was blowing it away. The Samsung phone was blowing away with the 5G service. However, if you were just opening web pages and stuff, you would not be able to tell the difference.
No. And this is something to keep in mind when the carriers start wanting to charge you more for a 5G SIM.
Do you think they will?
I think at least at first, it's going to be a premium.
I hope not. Anyway, so that's our latest testing of the 5G service, and we're going to continue to do this over the next few weeks, and hopefully find a spot where my 5G SIM and phone will blow your TELUS 4G SIM away.
Yes,
but we'll have to wait. Okay, when we come back, a lot more apps to talk about here on the App Show. Stay tuned. You're back with the App Show. Mike and John here. Please go to our website. We've got a great contest going.
Please.
No, it's awesome. We've got all sorts of great tech blogs up there, how-to videos. We're always checking out the latest smartphones and smart home gear so that you don't have to, right? You can make some informed buying decisions. Again, GetConnectedMedia.com. The contest right now, we're giving away a Samsung Galaxy A51 smartphone. This thing is beautiful, and it's so easy. Just go to the newsletter tab, subscribe, and you're entered to win this contest and all the contests going forward. So you really can't lose. And you get some great content.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, we think so.
That's all the time we have left. I want to thank all the folks that helped put the App Show together. John, my co-host and producer, of course, Christina, back at the ranch, and all the other folks. We'll see you again next time.